Hi friends, today we are going to see the past year NEET questions for the chapter Plant Kingdom, and today in this video we will cover part 5. Okay, so people, those who haven't gone through the earlier parts, kindly have a look so that you will have the continuity with the chapter. Okay, so let's begin with the first question. So look at the first question here, let's read it. In bryophytes and pteridophytes, transport of male gametes requires, okay, it requires dash. So this question was asked in the year 2016. Okay, fine. As I already said, certain species of plants, they grow over the ground surface or the surface, whatever you can say, water surface. So here if you see bryophytes and pteridophytes, I already mentioned that they require an external source for their transport of sperms towards the eggs, right? And I also explained to you about how about the recognition. I told you there might be water and these eggs, these sperms are released, but how will it correctly go in search of its particular egg? So that also I explained in the earlier chapters, earlier parts, saying that a specific chemical will be released along with the sperm so that the egg can recognize this one belongs to our species. So this will help in the recognition part. So likewise, you have 4 options here. Wind, it cannot be, because bryophytes and pteridophytes, they grow in damp areas and they don't release any spores or grains, pollen grains. Okay, so there is no possibility of wind carrying those grains. Insects, no way, because they are not flower bearing plants or anything like that sort. So wind and insects, no. Birds, no way. So as I already said, they need an external medium for the transport. So that medium is water. Okay. So here in the solution part you can see bryophytes neither have pollen nor flowers. They rely completely on the water to carry the sperms and it will get attached to the eggs, and thereby the reproduction takes place. Okay. Therefore the correct answer to this question is option D, water. Okay, now let's move to the next question here. Look at this question here. It was asked in the year 2013. The plant body is thyroid in. As I already said, there are certain plants which resemble algae, right? They have a thallus-like structure, that is, their body is completely thyroid. And this particular structure is not found in every organism of the plant species. Okay, so you're given here 4 options here: Funaria, Sphagnum, Salvinia and Marchantia. So what could be the answer? The correct answer to this question is option, I think you can guess it from the right side picture. The picture is a Marchantia. So the correct answer is Marchantia, and I'll tell you why. The plant body of liverwort is haploid. Okay, it is gametophyte, it is small and dorso-ventrically flattened, thallus and dichotomously branched. It is fixed by unicellular and unbranched rhizoids. While if you take Funaria, Sphagnum and Salvinia, they are not thyroid actually. Okay, so this Marchantia, if you see, they belong to the family Marchantiaceae. Okay, so here they are actually a liverwort, a group of thyroid liverwort. A thyroid liverwort is a strap-like or often forms large colonies on the surface on which it grows. A liverwort is actually a non-vascular growing plant. They do not have any vascules. What are the 2 vascules that you know? Xylem and phloem. So these are plants. See, predominantly plants will have vascules. The set of other which does not have vascules are called as non-vascular plants. That is, they don't have the presence of xylem or phloem. Okay. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option D. Now, let's move to the next question. Read this question here. Selaginella and Salivina are considered to represent a significant step towards evolution of seed habit because they are asking us the reason of what is their significant step towards evolution. So this question, if you see, was again asked in the year 2011. Okay, so here they have given 4 options here. So what does the first option say? Female gametophyte is free and gets dispersed like seeds. It's not the right option. Next option, female gametophyte lacks argonia. No. As I already said, Selaginella and Salvinia are heterosporous in nature. Okay, as they produce two kind of spores. Okay, what are the two kinds of spores that they produce? Can anybody tell? It produces two kinds of spores. One is a microspore and the other is a megaspore or a macrospore. Okay, so Selaginella and Salvinia are heterosporous in nature. These micro and megaspores will germinate to give rise to male and female gametophytes. So what happens is, when it gives rise to the male and the female gametophyte, it will get retained on the parent sporophyte for variable, it will get retained on the parent saprophyte for variable periods. So here the correct answer will come to the option D. Okay, so as I already said, these two, Selaginella and Salvinia. So what are these important particular point about this is that it produces two types of spores. What are the two types of spores? It produces macro and micro spores. Okay, it produces macro and micro. So these will get retained on the parent sporophyte for variable amount of periods. Okay, therefore the correct answer is option D. So embryo develops in the female gametophyte and it is retained on the parent sporophyte. To your right side you can see the picture of the Selaginella. This is how it will grow and this is how the appearance is. Okay, now let's move to the next question here. Look at this question here. In which of the following male and the female gametophytes do not have free living independent existence? This question was asked in the year 2008. Okay, what do you mean by the independent existence? It can live without any dependency, right? So here they are asking us the male and the female gametes. They don't have to depend on each other. Here the question is they do not have a free living independent existence. The ones which do not have independent existence. See, there are two types of existence. One is dependent and the other is independent. Here they are questioning us which do not have. Okay. So out of the four options, Funaria, Cedrus, Polytrichum, Pteris, what could be the answer? Any guess? Male and the female gametophytes of Cedrus, okay, of Cedrus will not have an independent free living state. Okay, Cedrus belongs to conifers. Okay, you must have seen many images or you must have gone through your while surfing, you could have seen many conifer pictures. So conifers are usually gymnosperms. They are cone bearing seed plants. Okay, so what is Cedrus? They belong to the conifers and conifers are usually gymnosperms and they are cone bearing seeds. So to your side you can see a picture of conifer tree. Okay, this is the Cedrus. So which do not have an independent existence is Cedrus, while Pteris and the others have independent existence. Now let's move to the next question. Option D is the answer for this question. Now let's move to the next question here. Okay, which one of the following is heterosporous? This question was asked in the year 2008. So you should know what is heterosporous, right? Heterosporous is a production of spores of two different sizes and sexes by the sporophytes of the land plants. Okay, one will be micro and one will be macro. So that is what is talking about the two different sizes here. Hetero means different. Therefore, which one of the following produces different types of different sizes? Actually, we are talking not about types, we are talking about the different size and the different types. One will be female and the other will be male. Okay, so out of the four options given here, which one will be the correct answer? The correct answer is Salvinia. We already spoke about this in the earlier slides where we talked about Selaginella and Salvinia. So Selaginella and Salvinia, we spoke that they produce two types of spores, which is micro and mega, and they germinate to give rise to the female and the male gametophyte. and if you see, it will get retained on the plant sporophytes, right, for variable periods. Now these development of zygotes into the female embryo takes place within the female gametophyte. This event is actually a precursor of the seed habit, which is considered as an important step for evolution. We already spoke about this in the earlier slides where we spoke about seed habit, right? Why is it an important part in the evolution? So here the answer is Salvinia. Okay, Salvinia and Selaginella only shows heterosporous nature, the ones that can be retained over their plant sporophytes. Therefore, the correct answer is option B, Salvinia. Now you understand what you mean by heterosporous? Okay, now let's move to the next question. Read this question here. In the prothallus of vascular cryptogam, the anthrazoids and the eggs mature at different times. So what does it result? As a result of why is it happening at different times? Why is it not happening in the same time? This question was asked in the year 2007. Okay, here you are given 4 options here. Now, we all know that the female sex organ is named as argonium and the male sex organ is called as anthrazoids, right? So here they are asking us, in the prothallus of a vascular cryptogam, that is the male and the female will mature at different times. Why is it not happening in the same time? So look at the first option here. That is a high degree of sterility. No, it cannot be the answer. We are not talking about sterility. It is of course getting matured, but it is not happening at the same time. So sterility cannot be the answer. Look at the second question here. I'm sorry, look at the question here, second option here. One can conclude that the plant is opomistic. So that is not the answer. Third one, self-fertilization is prevented. And the fourth one, there is no change in success rate of fertilization. The correct answer is self-fertilization is prevented. Imagine if every maturity is going to happen in the same time, then there are chances for self-fertilization to occur. So to prevent this, the prothallus of the vascular cryptogam, where the anthrazoids and the egg will mature at different times to prevent the self-fertilization. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option C, self-fertilization is prevented. Okay, let's move to the next question. Okay, look at this question here. In ferns, meiosis occurs when dash. Okay, so they are asking us in ferns, meiosis will occur when. Okay. So you are again given 4 options. Spore germinates, gametes are formed, spores are formed, antheridia and argonia are formed. So what would be the answer for this? See, the life cycle of the fern is differentiated from other plants as both the gametophyte and sporophyte phases, which are actually free living. Okay, spores are small reproductive structures that are released from the sporangium. So what could be the answer here? I almost gave a clue. Gametic meiosis is found in all animals. In sporaic meiosis, the sporophyte produces the sporangia, and this will be produced from the part sporangium. Okay, so here the correct answer to this question is option C, spores are formed. Okay, so to explain it again, the life cycle of the fern is different from other plants as both the gametophyte. You have 2 phases. One is the gametophyte and the other is the sporophyte. Okay, they are actually 2 phases, and the 2 phases are free living. Okay, they are free living. So spores are nothing but the small reproductive structures that are released from the sporangium. Only then generations continue and reproduction occurs. So to your right side, you can see the picture of ferns. Okay, so this is how their leaf structure is present in ferns. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option C. Okay, so let's move to the next question here. So this question was asked in the year 1999. Dichotomous branching is found in question mark. So we need to find out which has dichotomous. Dichots. What do you mean by dichots? Any idea? Dichots. Monocots. See, here we are talking about dichotomous branching. Okay. So here the correct answer to this question is Marchantia. Okay, as we all know, Marchantia belongs to the genus of Marchantiaceae, a group of thalloid liverworts, and this thalloid liverwort is a strap-like structure and often forms large colonies. So how about dicots and monocots? What is the difference between dicots and monocots? Can anybody tell me what could be the answer? Any guesses? See, when I say dicots, it will have two. Di means two. So mono means single. Right? So I'll give you examples of dicotyledons. Right? Examples of dicotyledons are, see, they have made given different answers for that. You have examples like rose, Mongolia, marigold, sunflowers. These are all examples of dicots. Okay, now when I say monocots, I said they have a single system. Okay, I said they have single system. Dicots is that they have two seed leaves inside the seed coat. Okay, they are usually round and fat because they contain the endosperm to feed the embryo plant. And monocots, if you see, they will not have any seed coat. It's a single system where they do not have any extra covering and all. It's a single seed that is present inside. So now you understand what is the difference between dicot and monocot. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is D. Marchantia. In mosses, if you see, the branching is lateral but extra axillary, which is in Funaria. Marchantia is dorsiventrical and dichotomously branched with thalloid liverwort. While sphagnum, if you see, its branching is profuse. Now you understand. And fern, you know, it is completely monocot. It is not dicotyledons. Okay. Therefore, now the correct answer is option D, Marchantia. Now let's move to the next question here. Walking fern. Have you ever heard about walking fern? The walking fern is so named because dash. Why is it walking? Walking in the sense they can navigate, right? They can move. Then only you will say walking is movement. Right? We talk about movement. So here they are asking us, why did that name arrive, or why did that name was given for that particular fern? So we have four options here. It is dispersed through the agency of walking animals. No. It propagates vegetatively by its leaf tips. It knows how to walk by itself. No. Its spores are able to walk. No. Propagation. As we all know, plants cannot move. They remain static in a place. But propagation is possible, right? When I say plant, there is some kind of movement within the plant which helps. Which helps in food transfer, water transfer, storage of water, food, etc. So it means that plant has some action within which helps the plant to survive. But the plant movement cannot be seen outward. It is not physically seen. But internally there's something happening in a plant. We all agree with that. So here if you see, it is dispersed through the agency of walking animals. No. Option C, it walks. It knows how to walk. No way. We haven't seen any plant or any tree walking. But they all survive. We all consider them as living organisms. So that it means there is something internally happening which helps the plant survive. So here the walking fern is so named because it propagates vegetatively by its leaf tips. Okay. The correct answer to this question is option B. Okay. So here if you see to your right side, vegetative reproduction occurs in ferns by fragmentation of rhizosome and growth of adventitious buds. In datum caudatum, the adventitious buds occur at the leaf tips. So that is why that propagation was given the name walking fern, because it has the ability to propagate through the leaf tip and happens to have contact with the soil. So that is why the name walking fern. Okay, now you understand. Now let's move to the next question here. Therefore, the correct answer for this walking fern is option B. Now let's move to the next question. Multicellular branched rhizoids and leafy gametophytes are characteristic of dash. So this question was asked in the year 1997. Okay, it was asked in the year 1997. Now let's come to the solution. So what do you know about rhizoids? They are all present underneath the soil, which helps in the plant storage and even in other fixation, nitrogen fixation, carbon fixation. So they help in all that. So here the question is, multicellular branched rhizoids and leafy gametophytes are characteristics of what? Okay, therefore the correct answer to this question is option bryophytes. Okay, why is it bryophytes? It is not all bryophytes, it's only some bryophytes. Not every bryophyte has this feature, only certain bryophytes have this nature. So to your right side, you can see the picture of bryophytes, the different growth of it, the appearance of it. So bryophytes, as we all know, they are all non-vascular plants. They are non-vascular. They do not have a xylem or a phloem system. They are all non-vascular plants. Okay. And their sex organs are multicellular in size, and they grow in moist habitats, and they contribute to more than 20,000 plant species over everywhere. So we all know in pteridophytes the gametophyte is independent living, and it has a small thalloid structure which is called as prothallus, right? Now in pteridophytes, the primary roots are replaced with adventitious roots. So rhizoids, it is not present in every bryophytes, as already said, or it is only present in some bryophytes. Those rhizoids are also called as adventitious roots. Why? They will take advantage, that is certain unfavorable or favorable conditions, whatever it might be the requirement, but these plants will grow as an extra as an extra attachment to the plants, and it will serve as a feature for the plant. Okay, now as I already said, these rhizoids seem to fix nitrogen, seem to fix oxygen, seem to fix carbon, different sources which help the plant to grow and survive and grow healthier also. So this is not a feature that is present in every bryophyte. It is present only in certain bryophytes, because the other name for this is adventitious, particularly only for certain plants. Okay, therefore the correct answer to this question is option B, some bryophytes. Now let's move to the next question here. This question is very easy. We've already discussed a lot about it in the earlier chapters, where we talked about bryophytes as also called as free amphibians. I think by now you would have guessed the answer. Yes, the amphibians of the plant kingdom are dash. Okay, the correct answer to this question is option C. Okay, as we all know, bryophytes are terrestrial plants, but they require a lot of moisture for it to remain intact and grow. Okay, bryophytes with simple internal organization. Here if you see, they need an external source for the transmission of the sperms to the eggs. Okay, in order for the sperms to reach the eggs, they require water. This water will help for delivering the sperms to the eggs. So they need a system, an external medium or a source for this transmission. So here, that is why bryophytes are also called the amphibians of the plant kingdom. Their internal structure or the internal organization is very simple, but when compared to the other plants, they do not, as I already said, they do not produce any spores, they do not produce any pollen grains, you do not have any flowers where the spores can be carried by the wind or by the animals or by some sort of insects. So here their generations and reproduction is completely dependent on the water, which serves as an external source to deliver these sperms to the eggs. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option C. Therefore, let's move to the next question. Read the question here. Pteridophytes differ from mosses, bryophytes in possessing. So this question was asked in the year 1993. Okay, so here they are asking us what could be the difference between mosses or bryophytes. What do they possess? Okay, so what do you know about this? We all know bryophytes, they will actually not have any motility, right? They will not have any flagella or something. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is well-developed vascular system. We all know bryophytes are non-vascular plants, while mosses are vascular plants. So how do you differentiate pteridophytes, that is mosses and bryophytes? They both belong to the same family of pteridophytes. But still, when it comes to differentiation, how will you differ? That is the question here. So we all know that bryophytes are non-vascular plants where they do not have a xylem or a phloem system to carry out the air. Different process of the plant. But mosses have well-developed vascular system. It's present in the members of pteridophytes, which is absent in mosses, as plant body is saprophyte, sporophyte, which is distinguished into true root, stem and leaves. So independent gametophyte, argonia. So all these are features of a pteridophyte. So here if you see, when I say mosses or bryophytes, so here they are asking us, pteridophytes will have a well vascular system, but mosses or bryophytes will not have any vascular system here. So they are asking us, how will you differentiate the other pteridophytes from mosses or bryophytes? So the question is very clear. So here the correct answer is well developed vascular system. Okay, vascules means xylem and phloem. This is absent in mosses or bryophytes. Now you understand what the correct answer is. Now let's move to the next question here. This question was asked in the year 1992. The plant group that produces spores and embryo but lacks vascular tissues and seeds. Okay. Yes, they produce spore but they lack vascular tissues and seed. Any idea what could be the answer? Now look at the solution here. As we all know, bryophytes, they are non-vascular system, right? They do not have any vascules. Bryophytes are plants which produce spores and embryo but no vascular tissues are present in it. Alternative primitive type of conducting tissue are present in the form of hadrome and leptome. And we also know that their reproduction system, that is, they have male gametes and the female gametes, they come in attachment with an external source of water. So here if you see, they produce spores or embryo, whatever it could be, but no vascular tissues are present here. Rhodophytes and phophytes are algae, right? Here you have option B and D, that is rhodophyte and Phophytaceae. They are all algae family, so they will not come under plant. Pteridophyta, they have spores, embryo and true vascular system. So the one which lacks vascular system but still kind of produces embryo and stuff, it is bryophytes. Okay, the correct answer is option C, bryophyta. Now let's move to the next question here. So this question was asked in the year 1992. Which one of the following is not common between Funaria and Selaginella? So which is not common between these two? Okay, fine. What do you know about Selaginella and Salvinia? We already spoke about it. It produces two types of spores. They have heterosporous in nature. That is, they produce two types of spores, which one is micro and one is mega. Right? We came across about it. So here you're given four options here: argonium, embryos, roots and flagellated sperms. So what could be the correct answer? Funaria is a moss which belongs to bryophyte that possesses argonium, embryo and flagellated sperm. So these kind of things are also present when it comes to Selaginella. But only thing, it also has roots which is absent in Funaria. So how can you differentiate between Funaria and Selaginella? See, Funaria belongs to the family of mosses and it belongs to bryophytes. Selaginella belongs to pteridophytes, and here if you see, argonium, embryo, flagellated sperms, all these three are present in both. The only difference is that Funaria does not have roots while Selaginella has roots. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option D, roots. Okay, now let's move to the next question here. So this is the last question for this part 5. So let's quickly go through it. Evolutionary important character of Selaginella is, I think we've already discussed a lot about it in the earlier slides. By now you would have guessed the answer. Yes, the correct answer is heterosporous nature. We already spoke about it. When I say hetero means different. Right? Here if you see, you have two spores of different sizes and different sexes. Okay? Different size and sex. So here the only difference is that, or which makes the system very unique, is that the male and the female gametophyte gets retained on the parent sporophyte. This is a unique feature which helps the evolution of the seed habit, and we discussed about it in the earlier slides. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is evolutionary important character of Selaginella is heterosporous nature, which is option A. Right? So that is what they have given in the solution part also. There are two types of spores. Fine. With this, we complete part 5. Okay? We will all meet in the next part. Until then, take care and thank you for watching the video.